MLB bets and analysis Monday, August 12th, guys. What a weekend we just had. 3-1 overall in our official plays. The analysis was on the money this weekend, and our team and my community profited big. Now, today, I have a big winner for you guys. It's going to be placed live in front of you guys. How you guys like it? That's the whole point of the show. Analyze the plays and pick the bet right in front of you guys and place it for a couple $1,000 in the Hard Rock app, a real legit app. That is what I'm doing. I'm trying to make a name in the industry because everybody should be doing it. If you're a real sports handicapper, you should be able to do this and provide some value to the people. So, big day today. Big lineup. I'm very excited all around. We got some dogs that might be barking today, and we're going to cover them just in a bit. Now, before we start off, guys, as always, if you guys are learning, if you guys are growing, if you guys are winning, which is the most important part, share the show to a buddy. That's all I ask for. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, and comment below. Goes a long way, and the more you guys do that, the more I see the channel grow, the more inspired I am to do these episodes and continue doing them during NFL, NBA, and future sports, which is big money, guys. Typically for MLB, I bet $3,000 to $5,000 per play. NFL, I bet $5,000 to $10,000 per play. So my bets get bigger through NFL and college football, and I want to give you guys them for free. So go ahead and share the show. That's all I ask for. Now, before I start with the analysis, guys, the community at 194, as I told you guys, we have 30 spots left. After it gets to 225, I will be closing this community because I want to focus on everybody that's here looking to grow. As you guys can see, everybody's posting their analysis, their routine. They're growing within the community, and I'm helping them grow, not only with sports, but other areas in their life, which factor big time into winning in sports betting. So if you're interested in this, click that link below, join the community, and let's get to today, fellas. Hard Rock app currently sitting at around $19,000. Could have been a little bit higher. I wanted it to be around $25,000, but nonetheless a profitable week, so not upset, guys. A real account in the Hard Rock app. I'll come back to this account here in a bit when I'm going to place the bet. So first thing we always look at, OBP and OPS for the last 7 days. Momentum matters in MLB more than the last 30, 45 days, in my opinion, at least. So the last 7 days, we have Houston Astros at the top of the board, Diamondbacks, Brewers, Cubs, Angels, Padres for OBP. At the bottom, you got Cleveland Guardians, Twins, Red Sox, White Sox, Tigers, Rays, Mets, Orioles, Jays. Guardians are struggling, guys. They're a team that have been hot, but they've been struggling significantly, and so have the Boston Red Sox. Boston Red Sox have had a little bug of terrible bullpen, and it's biting them in the butt. And yesterday, put an unfortunate injury to Paxton that cost them big time because their bullpen is taxed, which we're going to talk about here in a bit. Now, I look at OBP and I also look at OPS. OBP lets me know how many people are getting on base for the team. OPS lets me know if they're putting the runs in, right, which matters a little bit more. OBP gives me a sign to see if teams are trending upward or downward, and OPS lets me know that they're scoring the run. So, very similar all around. A little different here and there. Minnesota Twins a little bit higher than they were for OBP, but all around typically it's rather the same. It never really fluctuates too much. Sometimes it does, and if you do, that's why we factor it in, right? So now let's go to today's games, guys. I'm going to be touching on two in this free video for you guys, and the first game I'm going to talk about is Chicago Cubs at Cleveland Guardians. So first thing I do, guys, is create my own lines. As you guys can see, I had this game rather even. I always respect the home team, especially a team like the Cleveland Guardians that have dominated at home this season. But Vegas thought otherwise. Vegas thought that this line should be more in favor of the Cubs, and it made me question this game a little bit. Now, when we pull up this game, guys, a couple things stand out, right? First and foremost, I like to see, based on the pitching matchups, who does Vegas have favorite to give more runs? And in this case, by a slight line, we have Ben Lively more favorite to give over 2.5 runs at -125 to -110. Nothing too crazy, but a little edge, right? Now we go into the matchups, guys. Shota Imanaga. This guy's been lights out this season. Has been playing really well, 5-0 in his last 5, and pitching rather well. Ben Lively just gave up 4 earned runs to Arizona last week. He is a dog when he pitches at home. He's 6-2 at home, and Vegas made the Cubs favorite in this game. Now, I know Cleveland Guardians are in the bottom of OPS and OBP, but something that stood out to me is when you go to covers, hitting versus started throwing hand, I like to look at the last 5. So Cleveland's facing a lefty, Chicago's facing a righty. So when you pull the last 5, yeah, Cleveland's been struggling, but they're not struggling against lefties by any means. They're putting up 6.2 runs per 9 innings versus lefties over the last 5 games. Now, it looks over the last 10 games because over the last 5 games, there could have been a blow-up game, which stood out. So let's look at the last 10. 8. So over the last 5 to 10 games, these guys are hitting lefties pretty well. So something to factor in if you're looking at this game. Now, one thing that I want to touch on is this. Over the last 10 games, Chicago has not been favored in Cleveland. And we're talking all the way back to 2020. And you can see it right here. Cleveland, Chicago was underdog. In Cleveland, Cleveland big favorite. Cleveland big favorite here in Cleveland. So when they've played in Cleveland, typically Cleveland's favored. And because Cleveland's a great team at home, and today they're making them a small dog. And it makes sense, right? The Cubs are high in OBP, OPS. They have the better pitcher. And all around, too, when we pull up the matchups, they've seen Ben Lively, at least a couple players. Bellinger has hit him big time, 3.0 OPS, that's significant. Tachman too, a couple players have hit this guy pretty big. Now, what I'm going to factor in this game and what I like about this game right now is the fact that Cleveland's getting a little bit of the support right now when it comes to money line and run line. If this stays like this, if I start seeing that Cleveland's getting a little bit more of the support and the Cubs are keeping that line at -122, -125, or push up to -130, I'd run with the Cubs in that game. Now, as I mentioned, Ben Lively is a dog at home, 6-2 record, 3.14 ERA. Shota Imanaga, away, he's 5-1, 2.75 ERA. So he does better away than he does at home, Shote, and Ben Lively does better at home. So we have a great matchup lined up for today, guys. Two teams that are battling right now. Cleveland is battling right now for a spot, and so are the Cubs to make the wild card. And a game that both these guys need, and Cleveland has been struggling. Let's pull up Cleveland really quick. They had 7 games lost in a row, and they won the last 2 recently. Another big factor, too, to factor in for this game that not many people talk about is the fact, guys, that the Cubs had a rest day yesterday. So not only are they rested, they have a bullpen that's rested, they're hitting better. This game spells and smells like a Chicago win, and that's going to be my pick for this game, Cubs money line. Now, for the second game, I'm going to talk to you guys about Texas at Boston, right? So I had this line at Texas, +110, Red Sox -130. Rather the same. Right now, it's currently at -135 Red Sox, right? So when we pull up this matchup, let's pull it up here in coverage.com for you guys because that's where I look at because it's free, right? Whatever I'm talking to you guys about and anything I'm showing you guys, you can go in and look at it yourselves because it's all free. I don't use my paid subscription apps because not a lot of you guys have it. I want to factor in what you guys have the most. So we faded Boston on Friday versus Houston Astros, and a big part of that was because after a loss, game ones, they're 3-9 or 3-10. Boston lost yesterday against Houston. They just got swept by Houston at home. And game ones, they're 3-10 after a loss. Texas lost their last game too, and they're 8-9, right? So nothing too significant, but obviously the worst record is Boston. Along with that, we got Tyler Mahle, right? It's his second game back. He played versus Houston, and honestly, he pitched pretty freaking well. 5 innings pitched, 5 hits, 1 runs in 76 pitches, right? Altogether, Tyler is a good pitcher. He's coming back from an injury, but he was a great pitcher prior to getting injured, right? Now we got Bello on the mound for Boston. This guy's been inconsistent his whole season. And when we pull up the matchups for this situation, let's pull it up right here. Boston versus Red Sox. It's a small edge to Texas. Some players have seen Bello, whereas Boston has not seen Mahle. At least not recently, right? Because the last time he pitched, other than versus Houston, was in 2023, 2022. So it's been a while since they've seen this guy, where Texas has seen Bello. When we look at OBP and OPS as well, Boston is in the bottom half right now for OPS, guys. Significantly. They've been struggling big time. And along with that, they have a taxed bullpen. This stands out, and this is the reason why I'm going with Texas at plus money today. Their bullpen is gassed. It's been the situation and the storyline for this whole weekend. Their bullpen's gassed, and today they're even more gassed because they had to use them all game yesterday because Paxton got injured. Now, Texas' bullpen is not necessarily rested either, but they are more rested than Boston's. And we can pull this up right here. Texas, you see multiple players with 1 day rest. You won't expect these 3 to pitch today, but David Robinson will be ready to go. Kirby Yates will be ready to close the game. Jose Urena, not my best, not my favorite, but he's ready to go as well, and he's been pitching rather well altogether. So, yes, Texas' bullpen is not the best either, but they are more rested, and they have key players like David Robinson and Kirby Yates that could come in and close that game out. Now, we look at Boston, guys, and this has to stand out for you guys. Kenley Jensen has been the only player that has 5 days of rest. Other than that, they've all been used, guys. Over the last day or 2, multiple pitchers have 0 days of rest because they pitched yesterday because they needed to be used. And these guys are probably not going to be used today. We'd have to look into how long they pitched yesterday, but don't factor them into pitch today. Now we got Josh Winckowski, which he pitched against the Astros on Saturday and got hit. Brad Keller, Zach Kelly. And you guys see these guys' ERA too, right? 3.42 to 5.66, 2.60 ERA. Boston's bullpen's gas, guys, and they've been the worst bullpen post All-Star break. And I'm going to fade them again in this spot. They've lost 4 in a row, and I predict they're going to lose 5. They're going to go through it because pitching matters in this game significantly, and bullpens matter significantly. Defense wins championships, guys. Offense wins you games, and at this point right now, they're struggling with that, and it's noticing. So let's go to the app, guys. Hard Rock app, we're looking at the game that we're going to take today. Rangers plus 115. Again, guys, bullpen matters in this game big time. When we know that Boston's bullpen was utilized significantly this weekend against Houston, and especially yesterday when Paxton got injured, guess what's going to happen today? They're going to struggle significantly again today against a Rangers team that, yeah, they haven't done the best, but they have bats. 2 things that you guys got to factor in: Josh Smith, Corey Seager, their leadoff hitters. They've had multiple games with multiple hits. The last 2 games, they both each had 2 hits. And Corey Seager's a player that once he gets hot, it's hard to stop him. And today, I predict this guy's going to be lights out and potentially hit a nice little home run. So let's go ahead and place a bet. Rangers money lines plus 3,000 today, August 12th against Boston Red Sox. Lock it in, guys. Don't fall for the Boston train because they're home and because they should bounce back. Get the plus money, get the value, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Placing the bet, locked in.